In this video, I'm going to show the compilation process with the command-driven environment in Linux system. There are some prerequisites for today's work. First, it is better that you may have some knowledge about WSL and basic commands in Linux operating system. But it would be fine if you don't have any experience because we are going to use very simple few commands. And also, it is better that you may have some skills for text editor in Linux system, such as VI editors. But I'm going to give some tricks if you are a beginner of the Linux. Okay, now let's run WSL first in your Windows systems. In your taskbar, search the Ubuntu and run your WSL. First, I'm going to make the new directory under the home directory for today's work. I'm going to use the command mkdir to make the new directory, and then use the command cd to change the directory. And we need one example source file, so we're going to use the hello world program like here. I'm going to use the command vi to edit the source file and give the file name with test.cpp. If you don't have any experience to the VI editor, I'm going to give a tip to make the example file. First, copy the contents of the source file. And here is one more tip for copy and paste. In Ubuntu window, we need to enable the option to use copy and paste. Go to the properties and then check the copy and paste the options. And then make the command cat test.cpp. After that, paste the copied contents and then press the Ctrl D. Now make sure that you have the test.cpp file with the command ls. Now let's go back to our slide. This slide is the main contents of today's lecture. The final goal is to get the executable file. Normally the name is a.out. This executable file is easily get when we use the compile command C++ with the source file test.cpp. After that, we can execute the file a.out and then see the result hello world in your screen. Normally we can say this is the compile process, which means getting out a.out from the source file. In this slide, we concentrate on detailed compile process, which has 3 steps such as preprocessing, compile, and linking. More specifically, we may say there is one more step, which is assembly between compile and linking. In our textbook, there are just 3 steps, but we are going to use 4 compile steps in this slide. First, we're going to use the option large E to generate the preprocessed file. The purpose of preprocessor is to process the statement starting with pound symbol, and then combine the designated file with your source file. Let me show the preprocessing in the Ubuntu window. Type the command C++, option large E, and test.cpp. And now we can see the contents of a preprocessed file. I'm going to type command again, adding greater than test.i in order to save the contents. Now we have the preprocessed file, the test.i. Here is the first top 10 lines of preprocessed file. Now we finished the first step, preprocessing. The next step is compile. It takes the preprocessed file and then generates the assembler code file. The file extension of the assembly file has S. The assembly language is kind of low-level programming language. Thus, the assembly file has the computer architecture's machine code instructions. I'm going to make the assembler file from the preprocessed file by typing the command C++ option large S test.i. And then we can get the assembly file test.s as a result of compiler. And now the assembly file gonna be processed by assembler to be converted as an object file. At this time, the object file is a binary file, not a text file. Hence, this file is not a human readable in this command window. Let me show this assembler process in Ubuntu window. type the command C++ option C test.s, and we can get an object file as a result. The name is test.o. Now we finished the 3 steps: the preprocessing, compile, and assembly process. Now the last step is linking. The object file doesn't include the binary file for the library routines provided by C++. Normally we call it the runtime library. Since our object file doesn't include machine code for any runtime library routines, the linker combines the object file with the necessary library routines and then generates the final result, the executable file. Type the command without option test.o. Now we can get the executable file. The name is a.out. I'm gonna run this executable file. Type the /a.out. We can see the result of our program. In this video we talked about compile process. It has 4 steps: preprocessing, compile, assemble, and linking. We can check the intermediate result file for each step with options of compile command C++.